Come get your first look at the brand new Imperial armor for the forces of the Space Marines. Spiky bits. What's up, Hobby Maniacs? Rob Baer with you again today, taking a look at the new Imperial Armor book, of course, for 8th edition. This is all the Forge World rules or data sheets for the Space Marines. It's a rather robust book. Don't let it's a little non-hardcover size fool you. This bad boy is 15 pounds. Out of the UK, of course, that's probably about $20 US, give or take, depending on which way the wind is blowing, of course. And it's got a lot of stuff in here. Of course, there's 80 pages to this book and roughly 74 data sheets contained within. Not only does it have flyers and tanks, everything's divided up pretty well by sections. You got heavy armor, dreadnoughts, battle armor, strike craft, battlefield support. You got some Grey Knights and characters here, and then the Imperial Armor Character Appendix. This is a lot of the stuff out of the Badab Wars books that really aren't that old. They're from like 2010-ish, right? So they kind of, about a year later, due to the popularity of that, they came out with the Horse Heresy, series, and kind of ran with it from there. And these guys, but they still exist, and they've kind of been the redheaded stepchildren of the Space Marines and Forge World for so long. We never even saw 6th or 7th edition rules for these bad boys, but now we've got 8th edition rules. So start at the bottom, and now they're here, I guess, so to speak. So we're definitely going to take a look at one of the fan favorites, Magister Severin Loth, in this review right here, and then all the appendices and things in the back of the book. So let's jump right into it. Of course, the additional rules, macro weapons, really only pertain to some of the bigger battle titans and things like that, emplacements and stuff. It's not really going to come into play here, but of course you can read it right there. Relic is another special rule that you need to be aware of. If your army, that's going to be more far-reaching than not for these guys. If your army is battle forged, no detachment may contain more relic units than it does non-relic units of the same battlefield role. In addition, as long as a battle-forged army includes at least one relic unit, you gain access to the following stratagem. 2 command points. It's used at the beginning of your fight phase. Choose a single friendly relic unit. All friendly Adeptus Astartes within 6 may re-roll the first failed hit roll of that phase right there. So kind of like it was in the past where you had to have like, one of the chaplains or one of the tech marines in your army per relic, because they would tend to its machine spirit or its sanctity, to keep it battle operational, and to guard it. It was their personal charge, for this relic of 5 to several thousand years old, maybe even 10,000. It could have a glory on it or something like that. But a little bit different than what we saw in the past, but nonetheless something to be aware of here, because I guess just don't want you spamming these things. All right, so first up, we've got the battle armor section. I don't even remember what the battle armor is. What is this? Oh, these are the tanks. Okay. So you got all your traditional tanks that you would expect are in here. There's fan favorite Sakaran. We've seen that spoiled already. And then it gets into the heavy armor stuff like your Spartans, your Mastodons, all that bad boy. So there's the Mastodon. We are going to talk about the Falchion tank destroyer and the Fellblade. Now these are obviously fan favorites from the Horse Heresy books and everything like that. Great tanks, very characterful. Of course, they're the Space Marine versions of the Baneblades, and of course the Falchion is, I guess, the Space Marine version of the Shadow Sword. Now, Shadow Sword has seen a lot of play already in the Imperial armies because it contains 1 volcano cannon. Well, what's better than 1 volcano cannon than 2 volcano cannons? And the Falchion definitely delivers on that. Now, it's no slouch when it comes to points. Your Falchion is going to run you roughly 817 points as is, with a twin heavy bolter, twin quad las cannons, and a twin volcano cannon, plus its crushing tracks, which I like to call the whale tail, as it just power slides through the enemy ranks and just racks up a lot of damage right there, hopefully causing some leadership checks and breaking the morale of hopefully a flank, because it's definitely got the range to everybody else, so it doesn't make sense to have it in the middle of your battle line right there. The quad las cannons, of course, 48-inch range, heavy 4, Strength 9, neg 3 AP, and D6 damage. And the Volcano Cannon, what's better than 1? Of course it's 2. 2D6 shots, 16 strength with -5 AP and 2d6 damage. Of course, if you're shooting against Titan units, well, you get to reroll your failed wound rolls. And of course, check this out. It is Space Marines, so it's hitting on 3s, not like those guardsmen that are hitting on 4s. Dun dun dun. It's got 9 attacks, of course, with its crushing tracks right there. I'll let you do the math on that one. It's pretty good. It's pretty good damage output all the way around for this bad boy right here. Steel Behemoth special rule, it says it doesn't really care. It can fall back, it can shoot, it does all sorts of things. It does all of the things, and of course, if it does take catastrophic damage, only exploding on a 6, but affecting models within 2d6, taking 2 d6 mortal wounds, and it doesn't suffer the penalty to hit rolls for moving and firing, of course, which is, yeah, to be expected, I would imagine right there. You can sub out the quad las cannons with laser destroyers, but why would you? I feel like the quad las cannons are better damage output. The Fell Blade, well, we'll just mention it in passing, it's 717 points. The Demolition Cannon is free, the Fell Blade Accelerator Cannon is free, the Crushing Tracks are free, you have to pay for the quad las cannons, and the twin heavy bolter. Accelerated cannon's got 2 modes of fire right here, which don't seem too bad. I mean, it's no strength 16 heavy 2d6 shots, but it is heavy 2d6 shots, strength 8, -3 AP, doing 2 damage right there. Or you can use the AE shells, which is strength 14, still respectable, -4 AP, 6 damage, but it's only 2 shots. So that's going to be for a very, very juicy large target right there, and pray you don't miss. So kind of some ideas on what to take right there. Now, of course, both of these are relics, so it's going to be hard to field multiple of them in an army, but it is what it is right there. We've seen a lot on Dreadnoughts already. Of course, the Leviathan seems to be very, very awesome, so we're not going to spend a lot of time there. We'll get into some of the aircraft here. I think there's 2 we definitely want to talk about, and that make my top 5 at least. The Xiphon Interceptor was always a great aircraft for Horus Heresy, but never really made the port over to 40K just because of its high cost and the fact that there's so many other aircrafts out there that did so much better of a job. Well, now the Xiphon is here to make a mark on 40K 8th edition because it seems pretty robust, and for its points cost, you're looking at a paltry 210 points. That's less than a Vendetta. That's less than a Valkyrie, I believe. And now, while it doesn't have transport capacity, it has sassiness. It's hitting on 3s. It's strength 6, toughness 7, 11 wounds, 2 attacks in close combat if it comes to that. Leadership 8, 3-up save. It is airborne. It does have fly. So you are going to be, it's hard to hit, so no matter what, -1. It can't go into hover, so it doesn't matter. Supersonic, well, that's going to get you a little bit better. If you were trying to get away, you just can't fly off the board. Well, you could fly off the board, but why would you? Crash and Burn does the normal stuff there. On a 6, it crashes and explodes. Everybody within 6 takes D3. And terminal targeting does not suffer a penalty to hit rolls for moving and firing heavy weapons. Speaking of heavy weapons, Twin Las Cannon. It's got 2 of these bad boys. Heavy 2, so you're going to be spitting out 4 shots at strength 9, -3 AP, D6 damage. And the Xiphon Missile Battery, heavy 3, strength 6, -2 AP, D3 damage. So good against ground and air targets alike. For 210 points, I think it's a winner. I think it's almost an auto include in a lot of lists right there that aren't running Storm Ravens. It's almost like a cheap Storm Raven, but obviously it is a cheap Storm Raven, just no transport capacity right there. And then jumping over to everybody's favorite, the Fire Raptor. Again, a lot of people pointed out initially that it does not have the autocannon option here, but mysteriously it has a twin las cannon option. I don't know. Mine doesn't have a twin las cannon, but I guess this one does. So you can replace 2 Hellstrike missile launchers with 2 twin las cannons. But again, that's, like I said, that's kind of weird. Not sure what that's about because there's no autocannon option in here. Maybe it's a typo, maybe not. Don't know. It does have the option for quad heavy bolters, of course, and those pintle turrets on the side. Heavy 12, doing the normal heavy bolter strength 5, -1 AP damage right there, and the Twin Avenger bolt cannon, which is pretty good. Heavy 10, strength 6, -2 AP, D2 damage with 36-inch range right there. Now, if you do take the Hellstrike launcher, not too bad. It's just basically a long-range las cannon of sorts, just 1 less strength, so strength 8, -3 AP, and only in a straight 3 damage, which is about the same as a las cannon. However, it's not going to wound toughness 8 things on a 3, it's going to be wounding them on a 4. So pick your poison right there. It's only 2 points more for that twin las cannon. So I don't know what you want, but I feel like the las cannon for 2 points more might be the better option, to be quite honest. Now Fire Raptor is going to clock in at the configuration with the quad heavy bolters for 400 points on the dot. That's with the Twin Avenger bolt cannon, the 2 quad heavy bolters, and the 2 Hellstrike launchers. So for a mere 4 points more, I believe you can have the 2 twin las cannons on the top, which doesn't seem like a bad idea at all right there. Now, just a cursory note, the Lucius drop pod is in here. That's the one that the Lucius Dreadnought pattern drop pod. I don't know where it is. I think it's around here. But either way, I just wanted to note it's 120 points, and it doesn't really have any other special abilities except for the fact that you can bring it in from reserves. And then, of course, it gives the Dreadnought the ability to be more than 9 inches away. And moving on to the character section here, like I said, a lot of those Badab War veterans and characters were kind of the redheaded stepchildren of 40k there for a while, but now they're back, ready to make their mark on the world. So you got Magister Severin Loth, the chief librarian of the Red Scorpions, who love to hate the dirty... Wait, what do Red Scorpions do? I thought they hate Psychers. Or maybe they're the ones from the Apothecaries and all their squads. Either way, one of those is right. I always reserve the right to backpedal at any time. So he's kind of like an amalgam of cross, so to speak, between Grandmaster Valdis and perhaps Tiggy's rules, and we're going to take a look at those here in a sec, of course. So this guy's clocking in at what does he clock in at? 140 points. Valdis is 190 and Tiggy is 130. Great hits in combat. 2 up weapon skill, 3 up ballistic skill, 4 strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 3 attacks, and 2 up save there. He does have the Magister's Axe, so he's going to be getting 3 attacks with this bad boy at +2 strength, -2 AP, and D3 damage. Of course, it has a damage of 3 against any psychic targets there, and a bullet pistol, frag grenade, and cracking it. Now, he does have his 4-up invulnerable save without throwing any warp charge points or anything to that, like his old mechanic. He can deny the Witch on a +1 within 12, and any infantry units within 6 of Loth can reroll failed wounds against Psychers. So maybe they are the ones that hate Psychers. I thought that was a thing. Maybe they're also the ones that have Apothecaries in every squad. I don't know for sure, but both of those things are sticking in my mind right now. Now, he can manifest 2 psychic powers and attempt to deny 3 psychic powers. He knows Smite, and of course 2 from the Librarius Discipline on page 10 of the Warhammer Index Imperium 1. And there he is right there. He is faction keyword Red Scorpion. So it's gonna be a little wacky to get him into the list. You can play him in an Imperium list, of course, but you couldn't really fit him into a lot of different places depending on what you're trying to do there. So just be aware of that. Now, when we take a look at some of the other casters out there, like I said, Valdis, I believe it can cast 3 powers and dispel 3. He is 190 points. Let's see, he's on page 183 in the new index. Just to give you an idea of what he does. So, very similar. Of course, he's moving a little different because he is in Terminator armor. Very similar stat lines right there. Can manifest 3. And can dispel 3, no smite, and 3 psychic powers for sanctity. So a little bit different there. He does have the Thunderhammer and things, so not quite the Magister's Axe. And then if we take a look at Tiggy, and he is going to be 140, or 130, so he's kind of at the bottom of the scale. He's over on page 68 in the new Index Imperium 1. There's Tiggy. Very similar stat line, of course, right here, except for the fact that he doesn't have a 2-up save. He also has the Psychic Hood. A little bit harder to roll against him, and he can manifest 2 psychic powers and attempt to dispel 2. He knows Smite and 3 psychic powers from Librarius and Discipline right there. So there he is, kind of give you the pros and cons of some of the biggest and brightest psychers in the Adeptus Astartes out there, of course, including the new former redheaded stepchild of the Imperium right there. A Severn Magister, a Severn Loth of the Red Scorpion. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover about the new Imperial Armor Adeptus Astartes. Now, if you like these features here on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to thumbs up and comment on our videos here. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.